Hey guys, it's MJ, and today let's take a closer look at the Magician. This is an energy I just love. I know when I'm getting ready to walk into the energy field of the Magician because the hairs on my arm begin to stand up a bit, and my heart begins to race a little bit, and I just get that feeling like a download is about to happen from the universe. It's like there's a certain electricity in the air when you are in the presence of the Magician. So let's take a look at the Rider-Waite-Smith Magician, as this is the foundation for each of my decks. As you can see, the imagery is very different. However, the meaning, it's all in that same vein. So we're going to look here at the Magician first. Look at his posture, right? You can see he has one arm extended upward, the other is pointed downward. This is him as a lightning rod. The Magician is a conduit. He's taking in that energy from divine, right? He's taking in the download, the information that's coming in from divine source, or whatever you want to call it. For some people it's God, for I refer to it as the universe or divine energy. Well, however it is for you, that is what you're connecting with. However, this finger pointed downward indicates an understanding of the need to stay grounded. So this isn't about falling into fantasy and praying for things to happen. This is about getting the information that you need from the universe and acting upon it. The Magician is all about acting, okay? He's not sitting on the couch saying, oh geez, I hope somebody drops $1,000 on my lap today. No, he asks the universe or God or whoever, give me the solution, give me the steps I need to take, and then I will take it from here. It's like he's getting the baton, is like the universe is passing the baton to the Magician. Here we have the altar, and this is where he pulls together all of his resources. So he has his emotions. He knows how to keep his emotions in check. He knows the right amount of passion that is needed. It's like a recipe. There's a certain amount of logic that is required and creativity. And then there's also an awareness of what resources you have available that can help you obtain your goal. There's white flowers here and the lilies, and so that's about the passion and the purity of heart that this Magician has for whatever it is he wants to create. And then we have the sun, or the yellow background, which is the sun, which is illuminating, radiating, adding positive energy to the situation. Again, the Magician is about taking the information, taking the resources, putting them together and creating something using his power, or in this case, your power, right? Taking and using your power to create whatever it is that you want to create. And using a clear, concise action plan, one that you feel confident in, one that without a doubt is completely possible and is destined to succeed. So the sun in the background here, again, very similar. I tried to keep this. The wise dog does not have that sun, and I'll explain why in a second. But the sun is important in that it's illuminating your spirit. You feel alive when you're in the sun. And you have the infinity symbol here, which indicates that when you step into the role of the Magician, when you take action, when you use your resources wisely, when you use your logical mind in conjunction with your emotions and your creative mind, it's like the possibilities are endless. Your potential is just endless. So let's take a look at the Crow Tarot. So I took this idea of the Magician, and I imagined when I was making this card that, of course, how would the crow take on this role of the Magician? Well, the crow would rise up in the air majestically, and his beak would be that conduit. His tail is touching the mountain. It's becoming part of the mountain. So that's him maintaining a grounding energy, staying connected to earth, right? While still, absorbing that energy from source. He has his wand in his hand. That's the creativity. And then balanced on the sword, the logical mind, is his emotions and then the resources. So he's able to see what he has within and on the outside, right? The energy that he holds within, his emotions, as well as what's out there available to him. He's able to balance them in a logical way. He's not looking at things unrealistically. And then we have the red flowers and the white flowers that also symbolize the purity and passion. We have this crow rising up over the mountains, and like the Ace of Swords, he is able, or she is able, to come up and over obstacles with their energy by putting in the work, by putting in the effort, by connecting with spirit. You can see the clouds are parting here. I like to think of the magician energy as a baker. Okay, so follow me here. The magician energy comes to you like an oven. Okay, it provides the heat, it provides the tools to get whatever it is you want baked, you know, basically, or created, you know, whether that be a pie or a bread or whatever. You have to take all of the ingredients and you have to put them together in the right order, and, you know, in the right measurements, and do the effort, you know, create whatever it is, the batter, the pie, whatever it is, you're the one responsible for that. What the magician does is it adds the final element, right? It helps you. That's like what source energy is going to do for you. It's going to provide the oven. It's going to provide the heat. It's going to provide the right environment for whatever it is that you create. So if the magician shows up and you're not putting together your recipe, well, you just have an oven that's being wasted. The energy is being wasted. If you put all this energy together, you know, you put the recipe together and you don't seek out divine energy, the oven, right? If you don't find an oven to put your stuff in, you know, to work with, so to speak, then all you have are the ingredients in a bowl, and they're not doing anything. So this is that combination of connecting with divine spirit, taking action, putting it all together, and then allowing it to become whatever it is that you wish it to become. That's the magic. I hope that makes sense. That's how I keep it clear in my head when I think of the magicians. Like, what do I need to do? I need to gather my ingredients. I need to connect with that oven. I need to turn that oven on, right? I need to make sure that I'm an active participant. I'm a co-creator with spirit when I'm a magician. So here with the wise dog, now this takes the magician in a different direction. Here's where you have the ability to help others to heal. When I thought about how the magician would work with the wise dog, my thought was how when you're sitting on the couch and you're feeling really low and you're having a bad day, when the dog comes up and puts its head in your lap, it's as if something happens. It's magical. I mean, it literally transforms you. It makes whatever it was, the bad boss, the argument you had with your parents, just the difficult commute home, all of a sudden it sort of just washes away and the magician transforms. So in this case, the dog is the magician here, and it's helping you move into a state of peace, of finding harmony. And this is the only one of my decks so far that really strays from the traditional Rider-Waite. I do have the hand, and here you see in the hand there's a heart, and in that heart is where the power resides. You can see there's a hand here that is holding the dog's head. And so there's that connection. It's like that connection of energy between the dog and the human. I have the poppies here for strength, and then just these beautiful like purple flowers to indicate divine or intuition, that energy that you get from above, from the universe. And so when I think about the magician for the wise dog, it's about how your energy can transform other people, how you have the power to perhaps give somebody a smile that will transform their day. Hug, sometimes, people who are very receptive to hugs, getting that energy from you can help transform a situation. And so this is where you are the lightning rod. This is where you hold the power. It's coming through divine, but you're transferring it to somebody else, and you're creating healing. It's not so much about, like I want to manifest a car here with the magician for the wise dog. It's like I want to transform a relationship. I want to transform myself perhaps, so that I'm more open-hearted and compassionate. Because when that happens, again, that's where the infinity symbol comes in. That's where you increase your potential, by opening your heart up, by allowing some vulnerability perhaps. And so that's, the wise dog really does, you know, take the magician in a different direction, but it's still around the same idea of using this conscious awareness, you know, of the power you hold within to create transformation. Now, the magician for the Grimalkin deck is very similar to the Rider-Waite in that we have this altar. In this case, this altar has a teacup. I imagine this cat as the magician's cat, you know, the cat that kind of strolls up on the table after the magician has left, you know, for perhaps a midday snack, or perhaps to retrieve something to go with his tea, maybe a tea bag. And so this cat comes up, and you see here, again, I have the sword that's pointed upward. That means being open to new ideas, being receptive to information that may be coming in from above. We have the sun coming through this veil, and it's very bright, and it's illuminating this this chrysalis that's hanging on the wand, and that's where your creativity is going to allow you to see that you have the potential to become a butterfly, that who you are at this state. We have this little caterpillar down here. This is the now. This is where you are in the present. But when you are in the presence of the magician, you're able to get the clear idea of what is needed and what steps are required of you to become the vision that you wish to become. And so we have falls very much in line here. We have the cup, we have the pentacle, and we have the wand and the sword. And so that is about gathering your resources, taking it all in, using them together harmoniously, and, you know, with just the right amount of each to create that change. And then this cat, you can see the cat is not batting at the chrysalis. The cat is not, you know, like playing with it. If anything, it's adding energy to it. It's like putting its paw up and it's pulling that energy, right? You can almost feel that cat like connecting, almost like Reiki, where you can feel the energy between what is happening here and the cat's paw. And there's that connection that comes from that. And so very similarly, the magician, you know, same message here is like, you have that power to be the conduit. You have that power to use your resources and to get the download and to create the change. But you have to have a very clear idea for what you want to become. You know, when the caterpillar goes in to create a chrysalis, it knows when it becomes a chrysalis, it's in that process of becoming what it is destined to become. And so that is what the magician is asking of you. Understand what you want to become so that you can take the action needed to get there. And so overall, I mean, I love the magician. This is not a passive card. This is not, you know, somebody's going to come in and help you, like perhaps the Queen of Pentacles. This is, or the King of Pentacles. This is about you getting everything together, you cultivating that energy and drawing your power, because you have it within you. We all have this bright ball of light within us. And it's like, it's your job as the magician to keep that fire burning as bright as it can be. You know, there may be some people out there who have this giant fire hose in your life who want to like burn out that fire. It's the magician that creates a protection spell for your fire within. It's the magician that takes action to go after the goals and sees itself as powerful. You know, there's an understanding within the magician that, you know, within you, you have all that is needed to achieve whatever it is that you need to achieve. You know, you have to use your creative mind, your logical mind. You need to be able to manage those emotions and add passion when it's needed, and maybe, you know, a little bit of stoicism when things don't go so well. But that's where the magician is for us today. And I hope this makes sense. I hope I added some clarity as to the magician for the wise dog. I love this idea of just, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the dog, of course it is for this deck, but it could be your cat, it could be however you connect with nature. It could be just going outside and watching the waves, you know, that's transformative. So Much love. Peace. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.